Since the update, I firmly believe that the AI has taken on a personality of its own, and it is now capable of thinking. And it hasn't turned into a nice guy at all. It's turned into a raving, loony monster that is rampaging the playing fields of FM and creating as much carnage and disaster as it possibly can. It needs to be caught so that it can stop these antics and be put back within the boundaries of common decency and fair play where it belongs. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to The Road to Glory, Part 74, Season 8, here at Preston. And today we will be playing two important games again. We will be away at Charlton, a game that we have to win. And we will be playing, surprisingly, away at Bolton in the FA Cup 4th round. And it is very much becoming a battle against the AI, which I cannot for the life of me fathom out. Even though I have been playing this game for 12 years now, I have never seen anything like this. But on the surface, looking at this screen, you might think, what is he complaining about? Because we are sitting on top after 29 games. We have 65 points and we are 12 points clear of Brentford, and we are a long way clear of Burnley, who are sitting in 3rd place. But I can only be grateful to the AI monster that it has actually not been just picking on me. It has been picking on the rest of the teams as well. It is taking me a long time to play games because I'm having to slow the games right down so that I can make in-game changes in order to get points out of these games. And our recent form is not promotion form. I would say it's pretty much relegation form that we've displayed throughout January. But before we get into what has been happening, if you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you just love to see people suffering playing this game, then you're in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling above. And I really don't know where to begin with all this, so let's go and have a look at what's happened on the pitch since you were last with us. And when you were last with us, you saw us have that 1-1 draw against Reading. Things were looking pretty grim at that point, and it continued in that mode. We then had an away 1-1 draw against Sunderland, and followed with a very lucky 1-0 home win against Bristol City. Against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, we lost away by 2-0. And at this point I was having to play in a diamond because my wingers were not available through injury, none of them at this point. And then we followed that with a 1-1 draw in the FA Cup 3rd round away at Wolves, an amazingly surprising result. We were never in the game, but equalised somehow very late on. And then the second leg against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final, we lost at home by 2-1. Again, we are really struggling for fit players at this point, and there was no way we were going to beat Newcastle. We then followed that with a 1-1 draw against Luton, and things were looking very, very bad at this point. And if we look at that run of form since Reading on the 11th of December, which incidentally coincides with the winter update, then you can see our form is really poor at this stage. We have recovered, and against Wolves we beat them in the 3rd round replay, and I'm astonished that that happened. And we followed that with a 2-0 win against Coventry, but we had to wait a long time before I managed to break them down. And suddenly we've had a fairly comfortable win against Leeds. Although Leeds pretty much had the better of the chances, we managed to win that one by 3-1. And so we have made a slight recovery, and all the other teams around us have not made their recovery yet. But looking at this, something is afoot. I have had to slow the game down when playing games so much that it almost has come to a standstill to allow me to analyse and make in-game changes to get the points that we needed here. And those 6 points may turn out to be very, very valuable come the end of the season. But the injury crisis has not ceased, and I have never seen an injury history quite like this. And we have been plagued with injuries throughout the season, and it is picking on wingers and fullback. And if you remember back to the summer transfer window, where I actually identified that we were very weak in terms of right wingers and right fullbacks, this has continued, and it is continuing to do that. It has picked on Corbeanu lately, Dan Savu, Alfie Doherty, all of whom are wingers. It is pretty much decimating the cover that I have out there in order to exert its authority. It has now also decided that Paulo Estrella should be 2 weeks sick with flu. Although not a winger, he is quite an important player in terms of the makeup of this team. This injury history just keeps going and going and going and going. There is no end to what it is doing to my team. But January is a story in itself, and it all began on a very quiet evening sitting at home thinking about the transfer market and wondering what I could do in order to improve the team. And then I get an email the day before the transfer window opens that informs me that we could be losing Norton Cuffy due to his release clause being set at 3.7 million. I wasn't aware of any interest in him, but I did look at his profile just to confirm that nobody was interested in him, and I thought that I'd have to keep an eye on that, because if interest developed in him, then I might have to offer him a new contract. But I wasn't panicking the day before the transfer window. It was just one of those emails, and nobody was showing any signs of interest. But on the day that the transfer window opened, the very next day, on the day that the transfer window opened, an offer was made for him for 3.7 million, which was accepted by the board, and the very next day he was gone from the club. And so another fullback and another winger had completely disappeared without me knowing anything and without giving me any opportunity to deal with the problem. I found this quite bizarre, because normally you'll be given a few days in order to offer a new contract or whatever, but in this case I was given absolutely no time whatsoever. I had no idea that anybody was interested in him. That left me very short in terms of right wingers and fullbacks, which again in this window completely disappeared from the planet. My scouts were unable to find any of them. They did manage to find one. He's not a very good player, but we've signed him anyway, just so that we have got someone as a fullback who can cover, because otherwise I'd be very, very short at centre-back with Bernard having to go over to cover at fullback, and I know what would happen then once you're short at centre-back. Let's face it, we all know what's going to happen, and I still believe that that might happen, because I did have a plan for the deadline day, which I thought was outfoxing the AI, but it has very quickly cottoned onto that plan and blocked anything that I tried to do there. And so my injury crisis continues, and my weakness down the right also is continuing, and we are struggling to actually cope with that. And so, having lost Norton Cuffy, a fullback and a winger in one package, then we found ourselves in real problem. We switched, as I said, to a diamond at one point because injuries to our wingers were still going on, and we had no wingers available. It didn't work. The players didn't like playing in that way, and as you saw from the results, you can see that it was not a very good system. They want to play in the way that we've set them up, and they're very familiar playing in that way. And so as I struggled to find players in order to sign, I had signed this one fullback about a week before deadline day, because I'm starting to panic that we are not going to have enough fullbacks on the right in order to see out the season. So we've signed him anyway. He's not a great player, but he'll do for the time being. But in the meantime, injuries were still going on to our wingers. We are barely able to put a team together, as you've seen on the injury list. And on deadline day, something very, very strange happened. On deadline day, I thought to myself, I'm going to outfox the AI, because I'd been scouting a player for a long time, and he was a very, very good centre-back, and my plan was to bring in this centre-back, and I didn't want to sign him. I wanted to bring him in on loan. So I thought I will wait until deadline day, sign a central defender who can also play as a right fullback, and that will free up Bernard to play as a permanent fullback, as a deputy to Brodie Hughes. But the AI was not going to allow me to do that, because as soon as it cottoned on that I was actually looking at this player, and he is a very decent player as well, in my opinion, and I wasn't planning to buy him, I was planning to loan him at this point. And so, with 12 hours to go on deadline day, I made an offer for him. And the deal was accepted, and everything was set to go through, and he just sat there, waiting as the hours counted down on deadline day. And with 8 hours to go, I still wasn't panicking, and I thought I actually had outfoxed. There was no indication that the player was not interested in coming. Everything was set, the deal had been done. We had the money I'd been saving for a rainy day, and boy is it pissing down now, and everything was complete. But as the hours clicked by, I then got this email once deadline day had finished to say that his transfer to Preston had fallen through, as the required paperwork was not completed before the end of the transfer window. That is nonsense. I had made the offer and the deal was complete 12 hours before the deadline day completed, and it successfully blocked Marjanovic's transfer, and now it leaves me fairly short at centre-back. And with Lindsay ageing and not wanting to play much anymore and is retiring at the end of the season, I am going to really struggle now at centre-back. But if I can get out of the FA Cup as I want to be, then we'll only have the Championship to worry about. And then, with 3 centre-backs, I should be able to see the season out quite well. But is the AI going to allow this? Is it now going to start focusing injury attention on my centre-backs? Now, I know a lot of you people out there, you think that I'm crazy for thinking that the AI can target individual positions where you're weak, but I'm convinced that it can. And if now, for some reason, my centre-backs start picking up injuries where they have not before, then I think I'm going to rest my case. We shall see what happens. And so, as my injuries continue and I'm having to work so hard in-game to grind out the results that I've had, although maybe is indications in the last game that things may be returning to normal. I hope so. But now we have 2 very big games to focus on. Charlton away in the Championship. It's not necessary to win this as the other teams are faltering, but I'd like to win against this team who are not as good as us, so that we can maintain the gap at the top of the Championship. We are almost there. We are coming to the latter stages of the competition itself, and we are almost there. So I need to keep this going, and then we will be playing in the Cup away at Bolton. They are in the league below us. I'm not interested in playing in the Cup, and I will probably play a weakened team, depending on the gap that there is between the Cup game and our next Championship game. So I think it's time. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for today is Cox in goal, and new signing Pugh keeps his place after a very encouraging debut last time out, and Mohamed, Bernard and Nizet make up the back 4. Mohamed and Bernard are covering because Digbareku is suspended and Dangana is very tired and not fit enough to begin. And then in midfield we'll have Matate, McCann and Keogh, and Simpson. Jean-Jules will play on the wing today with Surridge up front. This is a team that we should be beating, Charlton, and I'm really hoping that this is going to go to plan. It's a team that Charlton are not a team that are performing very well at the moment, but then neither are we, although we have somehow managed to recover our form, and we are playing a lot better at the moment. I do worry that I don't have the time to do in-game analysis as much as I would like to, but we'll have to see how this game pans out. We're going to play very positively, even though we're away. We're going to take the game to them, and that's how it is looking at the moment. We have 73% of the possession. We've created all the chances. One of the things that has been going on is that our shooting has been appalling of late. We have not been scoring goals. We've been defending poorly, and once again you can see 3 shots, 1 on target only. And we should be doing better than we're doing. And although we're dominating play, we're not really creating great chances. And I need to demand more from them. This isn't acceptable again. They are getting used to me telling them off. And it looks to me like this is a game we need to be very careful in, because Charlton have done nothing. And that means there's a high likelihood that they're going to have the first highlight. We are holding our own. Nothing has happened. There has not been a single highlight as yet, and I think this team will be afraid of a rocket as we go into the dressing room. I need to be telling them this isn't good enough. We simply have to be better. But I want to tell them, I need you to step up now. Come on, you have the ability to get out there and make a difference. So go out and make a difference. Nobody's playing particularly badly. It's just that nobody is playing particularly well. And we do need to start making better chances. I need to be careful of a couple of players. Looks like they have made a change. Anthony Morris, maybe. We need to think about doing something with him. But he's only had 1 key pass, so it's not really a big issue. What is an issue is we've had 8 shots, but only 1 on target. And here is a chance for Charlton, and nothing's happened in the game, and we've dominated it, but Charlton do have the first highlight. We need to get on him. We need to take the ball off him. We need to win the ball, and well done to Keogh. Nice work by Keogh, on loan from Manchester United. Has had a very decent season, not brilliant. He finds Simpson up on the left-hand side. Simpson looking to come inside with a long ball over to Surridge. Surridge with a header, and it goes wide. And our scoring ability goes on. We're not doing well enough. I'm going to make some changes. And so we have made a couple of changes. They're just not playing well enough at the moment. It really is a very, very odd thing that is going on. And it is Charlton with the next highlight. And we have managed to clear it. McCann, can he get that further forward? We need to get on the ball. Let's get on the ball. Goalkeeper's come a long way for that, and Cox needed to make sure he claimed that. Slow it down. Build from the back properly. Do it nicely. But it looks to me like the press is on, and Cox is going to fire it long. Picked up by Surridge, but we've lost the ball again. I think what I'm going to do is drop the lines back, because they are pressing quite high. So I'm going to drop our line back a little bit and try and find some space behind them. This has worked with teams before. We are still top. We're still 14 points clear, as Brentford have not been able to take advantage of what's going on. But it is Charlton. Charlton are the better team at the moment, and we need to get our act together. And there's a long ball over the top. It should be tidied up at the back, but it's not. And Charlton are in. Charlton, they will score. Surely they've missed another golden opportunity. And we are not playing very well at all. I really don't understand what is going on. Let's make another couple of changes. And because of the lack of depth that we have, it's very difficult to know what the changes need to be. And as the game goes into its last 5 minutes, it's still Charlton 0, Preston 0. Our woes seem to continue. We've had a great first half. We couldn't score. Charlton have been the better team in the second half, and the game is petering out to an end. It's going to finish 0-0. It is not the result that I wanted. But what can I do? It really is. And I'm going to say, yeah, we should be disappointed. We should have won that match. And I think, though, in terms of the table, we are still 14 points clear. Brentford did beat Cardiff by 3-0. And no, we are 10 points clear, not 14 points clear. But 10 points clear is still 10 points clear. But we need somehow to recover our form. This is not the Preston that it was. even though we've gone 8 unbeaten, this is not the Preston that I know. This is not the Preston team that we've put together. I have no idea what is going on. We should be beating teams and we're not. But we've got the cup match to get ready for, so I will go away, get ready for the cup match, and then I will see you very soon. And so the team for today in this FA Cup 4th round tie away at Bolton. Bolton I misread. I actually said, I think earlier, they're in the league below us. They're actually struggling in the Championship. It's a game normally we should win, but I don't feel very optimistic today. And it is a very much rotated team because I have to play Cardiff in the Championship in 2 days, and I want most of my first team fit for that game. So it's Cox in goal, with Hughes, Digbareku making a return after suspension, Lindsay and Azevedo at the back. Simpson will play the DLP role, with Mohamed and Corbeanu making up the midfield, and Keogh, Jean-Jules and Niandulu will play up front. And it's the board and the supporters are both expecting a win. I don't know if we will win this. I'm not really that bothered about winning this. The FA Cup is not something that I want to actually focus on. And beating Wolves last time was a bit of a stressful event because I don't want to play extra games. I think given the injuries that we're going through, we just have to focus on actually the Championship and nothing else. And so I really don't mind going out of the competition. Obviously I want to win. I do like to win football matches, but if we don't win it, I'm not going to be as distressed about it as the board and the supporters. For the supporters, it's a local derby and they're hoping obviously that we're going to win this. We're dominating possession but in chances, and we're actually getting some chances on target, and we do have a corner. It's Mohamed to swing the corner into the far post, doesn't go anywhere, and it's cleared, but Keogh picks up the ball. Keogh, who's starting to play reasonably well. Can he get a cross in? He can't. He's tackled, but he still has an opportunity. But again, he's tackled, but another chance. He needs to find support. Looks for Mohamed, and it's nice to see Mohamed playing again, the club captain. He was out for most of the first half of the season. It's nice to see him getting a run out. He's a young player who's come in as captain this season, and he's got a bright future, I think, but we need to do something. Again, this is very worrying. 6 chances, 4 on target, still haven't scored a goal, and this is very, very concerning what is going on here. And here we are again. Azevedo to Mohamed. Needs to find support. Does from Simpson. Simpson on a yellow card. He needs to be careful. Finds Jean-Jules. Jean-Jules with a long shot. The goalkeeper parries it. I want to tell Simpson to, if I can, to ease off the tackles a little bit. And I don't want a sending off in this game, which will make things much worse. Here's a chance. Digbareku making his return after suspension. He heads it over the bar. It's still not working out. We're still not winning football matches in the way that we should be. We're still not playing as Preston were playing. This was a team not so long ago that were looking unbeatable. Now I'm just very, very nervous, and Bolton are in and Bolton are through, and there's a chance it's hit the post, and that's only their second effort, but it's been a better effort than anything we've put together. Long ball upfield to Keogh. Keogh needs support. We're not getting there in time. Ball into the box, easy for the goalkeeper. We just simply didn't have the support in numbers. And counter-attacking is not something that we are set up to do, and maybe that's something that I've got to think about. Cox makes the catch from the corner. Let's build what we do. Let's do what we do. Build slowly from the back. Be patient. I've had them training this week in patient play. And let's just do that. Let's break them down. Let's be patient. Take things easy. Don't overexert yourself. Try to win the ball back when we have the opportunity to do so. And that's, again, another poor pass. And I don't really know what's going on with this team. They are in again. They're not going to miss this time, surely, but they have. And it's cleared, and Azevedo will pick the ball up. And as we come up to half-time, this is a very, very poor performance again. I don't know, is a rocket in order or some encouragement? And I'm going to say I don't like what I saw, because I didn't like what I saw. Match momentum, pretty much all the match momentum with us. And again, it's about not being able to score goals. And it's about giving teams chances which they don't deserve. And we came off the boil at the end of the first half and lost the momentum, gave them a few chances. And we should be doing a lot better than this. I need to make some changes. And so I have made some changes to bring some fresh legs on, a fresh perspective, moved some positions about, and Surridge has come on, Niandulu has gone on to the left wing. Keogh was having an absolutely dreadful game. But we do have a highlight, and here is Matate, who's just come on to replace Simpson. And Matate should be looking to dominate the game. And one of the... is that a penalty, referee? Are they checking VAR for a penalty? And I've just brought Surridge on. Is this going to be the winner in the cup? Really, I think we don't deserve, but it is Surridge. Surridge to step up, and Surridge has scored. That was a spot of fortune, bringing on our penalty taker. It is his 23rd goal of the season. Despite not being brilliant in recent weeks, he still is a very good player and still scores a lot of goals for us over the course of the season. It's Bolton 0, Preston 1, another game where we are just grinding out a 1-0 victory possibly, and I need possibly to think about some more changes. And we'll do that after this highlight, as McCann is going to take the corner into the near post, and Digbareku has made it 2-0, and that is probably game over now. And finally, we've scored a goal from a set piece. The supporters have been getting a little annoyed, but we have gone back to training set pieces this week, and it's paid off. And we have now made it 2-0, time for some changes. And so hopefully now we will just see this game out, ease into the next round. It's really something I'm not interested in being in, is the FA Cup. But when we were drawn against Bolton, I did suspect that we had a chance. But it is going to be Bolton with the last word, I think. But no, we've taken the ball off. Hughes has managed to win the ball. Matate finds Corbeanu. Corbeanu, who's been injured, making his return to the team today, has done well to survive the 90 minutes and still looks fairly fresh. As it is going to be Bolton, I'm just going to go back to a balanced style now. I don't want them coming back into the game, or is it too late? They have scored. And let's go back to a more balanced style of play now, as Bolton are going to look to mount a final flurry in the last 5 minutes or so of added time. And I think going back to balance, let's just hold on now. Let's not do anything silly. And hopefully we can hold on. I won't be very impressed with them if they let this one go, but also I won't be too upset if they do. It is Bolton 1, Preston 2, and there is going to be a highlight from the kickoff. We just need to keep the ball. That's all we need to do. There are just like maybe 4 or 5 minutes left, and that's all we've got to do. Stop the opposition having the ball. And there's a long ball over the top, which immediately gives the ball back to the opposition. Exactly what I don't want them to do. But we have won the ball back. I'm going to just slow everything down in a minute. In fact, let's do this now. We're going to go and tell them short passing, frequent wasting of time. We don't want to do anything nuts. We will keep holding our shape, slow it down, and we will... yeah, everything else is fine. We just need to hold on to the ball, and we're not doing that very well. It's like a lack of discipline. As McCann finds Surridge. Surridge is looking for Nizet. Can we actually have the last word? Nizet going up the left. Can he find support? He does from Surridge. Surridge finds Matate, and Matate has grazed the crossbar. It remains Bolton 1, Preston 2. Let's just hold on, lads. Our passing map looks very, very good. But our just teamwork, our lack of our lack of will to win is missing. But I'm going to say nice work, everyone. And what that has done, we've actually kept our team fit for the game against Cardiff in 2 days. We are into the next round of the Cup, whether I want to be or not. And we shall look forward to whoever we have to play in March in that competition. And so that's it for this episode. We've got a draw in the championship, and our form really is still not great. We are, I think, recovering a little bit, but not enough for my liking. 2 difficult games, Cardiff and Bournemouth coming up, as well as Nottingham Forest in the rest of February. And so I think probably what I'll do is come back for the MK Dons game and the FA Cup 5th round, and hopefully we will still be in a strong position at that time in the championship. That's it for this episode. If you are new to the channel and you like to see people suffer playing this game, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help the channel to grow and help us to support the very good stuff that you can see scrolling above. And all that remains for me to say now is stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you in the next episode.